cruise lines don't care if you drink 8 drinks a day. They don't care if you drink 28. And here's why. They know most cruisers are doing the drink package math wrong. But today, I'm going to show you how to do it right. I'm Gary with Optimal Cruising, bringing you fresh cruise advice, money-saving hacks, and secret strategies the cruise lines don't advertise. Over the years, I have heard a lot of advice from experts about how to figure out if the cruise drink package is really worth it for you. But the problem is that most of these experts are looking at it the wrong way because the cruise lines have rigged the math. They've got us playing right into their game, counting up how many drinks we'd have to have each day in order to break even with the per day drink package price. Here's why the math is rigged. Cruise lines are pricing cocktails at $10, $12, $15 in many cases for drinks that actually cost them about $1 to make. Which means if you buy that drink package and you think you're beating the cruise line by drinking 9, 10 drinks in a day, you're not. They're still making huge profits off of you. So why do they want people to buy the drink package? Because it encourages you to spend more money. Because they know that most people, once they get on that cruise, if they haven't bought the drink package, will start ordering a drink or two. But when they start realizing they're spending $10, $12, $15 for each drink, they're going to cut themselves off after a few. And that's going to limit the profit of the cruise line. And there's a psychological trick. The cruise lines are playing on us with this math as well. If you buy that drink package ahead of time, then once you get on board, that money's already gone. And you're starting your vacation as if you haven't spent anything yet. That's how people look at it. And cruise lines know this. So they get you to spend the money on the drinks ahead of time. Then once you get liquored up a little bit, your wallet might open up on board and you'll be more likely to buy things at the shops, specialty dining, spa treatments, play in the casino. Okay, now let's look at the math the way they want you to do it. So the way the experts tell you to do the math is actually pretty simple. You look at the cost of the drink package. Let's say it's $80 per day. That's pretty typical. And then you look at the cost of a drink. Let's say, for argument's sake, the average drink you're going to order between beer, wine, and cocktails is going to cost about $10. The simple math is you'd have to consume 8 drinks a day in order to make that drink package worth it. And on top of that, if you're traveling with another adult, that person also would have to purchase the drink package and consume the same amount in order to make it worth it. Here's the problem. That math is way too simple. For example, if you are a cocktail drinker and you're going to be ordering drinks that are on average about $15 on most of these cruise lines, you'd really only have to drink 5 of those in a day in order to break even on the drink package. And then you have to consider all of the extras that you might enjoy when you purchase the drink package. So for example, most of these drink packages include soda, energy drinks, coffee drinks, specialty coffees that you can't get at the buffet, and in many cases, bottled water and smoothies. And these non-alcoholic drinks can run anywhere from $4 to $8, depending on the cruise line and depending on what you get. So each of those that you get throughout the day is going to add into that cost, which means if I drink 3 or 4 cocktails and I drink a bunch of water during the day and I have a couple sodas and I have another soda at dinner and I order a couple specialty coffees, add all this stuff up and you just broke even with just 3 or 4 cocktails in a day. But just when you think that drink package might be worth it, there are a few variables the cruise lines don't advertise that can wreck the calculation. The biggest killer of the drink package math is port days. Because on sea days, a lot of cruisers will break even on that package. You might enjoy having cocktails throughout the day, other drinks, sodas, water, energy drinks, whatever it is you like. And by the end of that day, you'll find because you didn't have to think about it, you probably ordered enough to break even. But the problem comes in when you're in a port and you're getting off the ship for most of the day. So it's important to consider what your habits are. For example, I know some cruisers that regardless of whether it's a sea day or port day, they rarely get off the ship. They might get off for an hour, look around, and get right back on. In that case, they're going to be on the ship a lot more and probably get more use out of that drink package. But if you bought that drink package for a 7-day cruise and you're going to be out and about at ports of call on 4 of those days, it's much less likely. It's something everybody has to think about for themselves. Remember, the cruise line hopes that you purchase that drink package ahead of time because they always win when you do. But next, I'm going to talk about when the drink package actually works in your favor. But first, if you have any questions so far about how this math works, put it in the comments below and I'll do my best to get back to you. For the average cruiser who thinks they're going to consume more than a few alcoholic drinks per day on their cruise, the drink package will probably work in your favor if you have an itinerary that is heavy with sea days or you're not planning to get off the ship that much at ports of call. And the package tends to be worth it for those who are premium drinkers. That is, you like those more premium cocktails, the ones that typically go for about $15 on the cruise a la carte. Because if you buy the drink package that includes those cocktails, you don't have to drink as many of them to get to the break-even point. And then there's something to be said for just wanting to go on vacation and get away from it all and forget about everything. And if you're the cruiser that doesn't want to think about what you're spending or add it up every day or start counting your money and drinks, and you just pay for it ahead of time and forget it, that is a great way to have a vacation. And if that's you, then it's most likely worth it to buy that drink package because you buy it and you forget it and you just go and have fun and don't think about anything. Next, I'm going to look at 2 scenarios where the math just doesn't make any sense for you to purchase the drink package. But first, let me know if you've been on a cruise before. Do you buy the drink package or do you skip it? Put it in the comments below. A good friend of mine went on his very first cruise last year, and he was asking me if he should purchase the drink package. And I know him pretty well. He'll have a couple of beers with dinner and maybe another drink or 2 later in the night. And I said, do you think on your vacation you're going to drink more than you usually do? And he said, I'm not sure, I might. And I said, why don't you just pay a la carte and add up your bill at the end and let's see if that drink package was worth it or not. Because I was pretty sure it wouldn't be. And at the end of his cruise, he spent about $350 on drinks. And I don't think he held back. But his drink package would have been almost $700. And he would have had to buy it for his wife who doesn't drink as much as him. So in his case, it wasn't worth it. And for first-time cruisers, I'd be very cautious unless you know you're going to consume enough to make it worth it. Because if it's your first cruise, you don't really know how you're going to feel. If you're going to feel like drinking, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll be a little seasick, which will discourage you from drinking, and you won't get the most out of it. So if you go a la carte that first time, then you'll kind of get an idea for what you want on your next cruise. And if you are a light drinker, do not purchase the alcoholic drink package. It most likely will not be worth it for you. Even if you drink a lot of sodas and bottled water, specialty coffees and things of that nature, you can purchase the non-alcoholic package if you think that that would be worth it for you. And then just buy the 1 or 2 drinks you're going to have a la carte and you'll save a ton of money. Next, I'm going to share with you a couple tricks to beating the drink package math. But first, if you would take a moment and subscribe to our channel, hit that like button. It helps us grow and we'll continue bringing you cruising updates. I have a simple rule of thumb that I use when it comes to cruise drink packages, and that is I will only purchase the drink package if it costs under $50 a day. That means for a typical 7-night cruise, it's got to be under $350. For me, that's my limit. I don't find myself drinking enough to make it worth it beyond that price. So I look for deals where I can get the drink package for that price. One particular cruise line where you can often find the drink package well below this price is Norwegian, because they're offering huge incentives to book with them with their Free at Sea program. And if you opt for the drink package as part of that, you'll only spend about $200 per person for a 7-night cruise. That brings the price to under $30 per day. I think most people couldn't go wrong with that because you have a drink or two and you've already met that daily price. And then most other major cruise lines offer big discounts on their drink packages from time to time. The trick to getting the best deals is looking for sale events and buying that package at the time of booking. That's typically when you'll find the best deal on a drink package. And if you look at Black Friday or 4th of July or other major sale periods, you might find certain cruise lines, it varies, offering these kinds of steep discounts. And if you've already booked a cruise and you're still thinking you might want the drink package, buy it ahead of time. You'll usually get a reasonable discount in doing so. And if you can't find a good deal on a drink package and you're not a big drinker, then buy a la carte. That's what the cruise lines don't want you to do, but it can work in your favor in a lot of cases. And I've found that if I'm booking a cruise and the drink package is $700 for the week, I'm going a la carte and I might spend $200 on alcohol, if that. And that's a huge savings for me. And cruise lines know this. Even if I bought that drink package, I might drink a few more drinks, but I'm not drinking double of what I paid for a la carte. The bottom line is the drink package isn't a scam, but buying it without running the numbers or without looking at what's going on behind those numbers is. And the cruise lines are banking on that. Of course, they want you to buy that package because then that money is spent ahead of time. And then once you get on board, you will drink and feel like spending more money on other things. And they don't really care how much you drink because they're going to make money on you regardless. But the drink package isn't the only way cruise lines are extracting more money from us. There are some other interesting things that they like to do, and I'll tell you all about those right here.